here's my solar charge controller. In point just here, you can see we have just 1 amp coming in at the moment. It's very cloudy outside. It's still quite early in the morning. It's very cloudy. You can see here my batteries are showing 12.7 volts, and I'm not having any output coming out of here directly, and it's showing a temperature, a core temperature of this unit of 23 degrees Celsius. Now the problem I have, as you can see, it's working sort of at the moment. I've got a pencil jammed in behind it here at the moment, because it seems that as soon as it hits 26 degrees Celsius it stops working. So I have a new one on order, so I'm hopefully fixing this problem quite shortly. This could hit 26 quite quickly. As soon as I seem to get about 3 or 4 amps coming in, it warms up the unit that much and it'll hit 26 degrees and just turn itself off. Anyway, I ordered a new one on Sunday. Next day, delivery from Amazon. Today is Wednesday and I still don't have it. It should have been here Monday, didn't turn up. Rescheduled, didn't turn up yesterday. Now it says it's out for delivery today. I really hope it turns up. Well, I've been doing some upgrades on the boat. I did this last night in the dark. I fitted in this new MPPT solar controller because I've added some new solar panels, so I had to upgrade. But I've done it in the night time, so it wasn't in under any load. So you shouldn't ever connect these up under load. So if you're doing during the daytime, you should cover the panels up while you're connecting them up. This was my old solar charge controller, very basic, and I'm not even sure how great these actually work for actually getting the maximum into your batteries. So as I say, last night I connected this up. You can see where the old one was fitted over here. Got some holes to fill and paint. And I had to move it over because it's a lot deeper. This one was over here and it's a lot deeper, and the cables reached around there nicely. Well, now I've had to move it all over that way so the cables would reach to come into here. This now, I've just filmed this after I've actually put the a breaker in here, and as I've filmed this out of order. But anyway, you can see the gist of it, and I'll show you in a minute fitting this breaker. An easier way of going, a better way of going. I was actually recommended it also by somebody, so I've taken their word for it. So anyway, that's what I've just fitted: a new MPPT controller and a breaker. And I have already fitted one new solar panel, fitted properly. The other one's just up there laying on the roof at the moment, cable tied to the handrail. And I will film later somewhere how I put that down and how I fit the solar panel. But that's going to be in a later video. At the moment, this video is really about changing the controller over. Well, I'm in the kitchen at the moment, but I'm just doing a little bit to my solar panels. Now, I had an inline fuse on my solar panels running from the MPPT controller to the batteries, but it wasn't big enough. It was too small. Now I've upgraded my solar panels and put more solar panels in. I needed to put a bigger inline fuse in, and I've decided not to put an inline fuse in. You're going to say, what? No inline fuse? Well, instead I'm putting in an inline breaker. So if it is surged, overpowered or whatever, this will just trip off. This locks down, and the power failures, overloads, it will just trip it. So it means I don't have to worry about keeping the spare fuse on the boat and all that sort of thing in case it does blow or whatever. I can reset it, and if it blows straight away again, I know I got a problem. If not, I know I'm good to go. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm going to be putting this, rather than where it was put before, which was in by the batteries, I've taken that all out now and I've rewired it. Just going to connect this up inside the boat. This just goes together like so. I've just got a short piece of cable here. Just got to tighten that down. It's a grub screw in there. I'm just going to tighten that into the cable like so. Yeah, nice and tight. As this is a short bit of cable, I can run the cap up on the inside there quite easily. Tighten that up, and that's good to go. And I'll show you where I'm going to put it. Here's my MPPT controller, and here's my positive battery lead. Now I'm going to be taking that lead off of there, and this lead here will go in there instead. Then that lead is going to go into the other end of this controller, which goes off to the battery. This breaker which goes off to the battery. So I'm going to fix it up over here right alongside the MPPT controller, so it's easy to get to and see. If it's tripped or anything, I can see it straight away and easy to reset, rather than being under the deck boards by the batteries. So yes, so that's all ready to go. As you see, I've got a fitting kit these days, or a kit or tool kit for doing solar panels with. I've got some spare connectors here, all the different ways to take it apart, some wire strippers, wire cutters, and the proper crimpers for it. So that's all ready to go now. I'll put that in later, and I'm not going to do it right now. When you deal with solar, you should never connect it up under load. So I could go out and cover up the solar panels, which will take the load off of them, or I'll just wait for it to get nighttime tonight, and I should just put this in when it's dark, so there'll be no load. It doesn't have to work today. I've only just taken out the inline fuse I had, so okay, I haven't got anything there for going to be a couple of hours today. There's not going to be anything in there. I'll take the risk for a couple of hours. It's been working perfectly okay for 3 years and not a problem. And at the moment, it's not going to overload anything anyway, because the amount of solar I'm getting at the moment is pretty low. Obviously, it's the, what is it today? It's about the 20-something of January. Yeah, you're not getting a lot of solar, even if it's a nice sunny day. I'm still only getting 2 or 3 amps coming in. So yeah, I should connect this up later on, and I'll show you after it's been connected. But I should be doing that when it's dark. Well, I'm just in the midst now of actually putting it in, and see it's here. I've actually put one screw in this side. I couldn't actually get the camera to stay anywhere, and actually try and get my arm in to put that screw in, so I never filmed putting that screw in. I haven't drilled any holes. I'm just using little wood screws, because this is just plywood here. So here goes into the, oops, drop the screw. There's a little hole, and oh gee whiz, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling not to knock the camera over. Right, there we go, into there we go. And now I'm just going to screw that in. There we go, done. It's a bit of an optical illusion. I'm not quite sure if that is completely vertical or not. Because of the sloping wall here of the cabin, it's really difficult to tell if it's perfectly vertical, but it's close enough for me. So, as I say, here's where the goes off to the battery. That was the lead which was connected into here. I've shortened and goes into here now, and that's that little short lead I made up, which comes round to here. That's us all done. That's a new MPPT controller I put in. Didn't show actually fitting that. As you can see, it's an upgrade from what I had before. This is a 60 amp controller. The one I had before was only a 20 amp. But I've put 2 more solar panels on the roof. I haven't filmed that yet. I put one in and fixed it, but it was getting late in the afternoon. I didn't have time to get the camera out, so I never actually filmed fitting that one in. I do have one more still to fit properly. It's just resting on the roof at the moment, actually cable tied to the handrail. I don't know exactly where I'm putting that one yet, so I haven't actually fitted it. It depends on one of my other panels if it's actually working or not. Until I get a good sunny day and I can see a good amount of power coming in, it's really difficult to tell when you disconnect one what's actually going on. So that's something to come back to, and I will do a video when I fix the next one in, so he gets to see me fitting a solar panel to the roof. I know this is 100 amp, which is more than this, and I probably should have only got a 60 amp. I may order another one up and put a 60 amp in there. I was told by somebody, actually told me, put 100 amp in, because that way you know you're safe. If you know, it's got to be overpowered, and if something goes wrong, you get a short in the circuit, it will trip that anyway, no matter what. That's why I went for the 100 amp, because I was recommended it by a guy in a boatyard. I'm still not convinced the 100 amp is where it should be. I think it should be slightly lower, and I think it should be tie up with what the MPPT controller is, because I don't want more than 60 amps going into that, because it could damage the controller. So I think I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to get a 60 amp and put in there. But that's to come in the future. I need to be somewhere where I can get an Amazon delivery or something, and I'm not at the moment. Well, I hope you found that interesting. That was me fitting a new MPPT controller in and a breaker into the circuit. Well, that's the correct way to go, correct way of doing it. I'm no expert. I took some advice from other people, and that's why I put a breaker in and not a fuse, because a guy that fits solar panels for a living told me that's what he's doing now. Rather than putting in an inline fuse, he's using a breaker. Quite simply, if the breaker trips, it's quite quick and easy just to re-click it on, and if it trips again, of course, you know you've got a problem. Where if you've just put an inline fuse in, and that fuse is blown, and you put another one in, and it's blown again, you know you've got two fuses gone, and you still haven't fixed the problem. Or, you know, you still got to get another fuse. So the breaker, you know, is a cheaper way of going, really, and of course it's going to trip just the same as a fuse would blow, as what he's explained to me anyway. So that's the way I've gone. Since recording the main part of this video, I have ordered a new breaker. I've ordered a 60 amp one, and I'm going to change it over from the 100 amp one, because I think that's for my own peace of mind. I don't know if it's necessary to do that, but for my own peace of mind, I've dropped it down to a 60 amp one, which will be with me tomorrow. I'll pick it up from an Amazon Dropbox tomorrow. So by the time you see this video, which I've recorded, well, the other part was recorded a couple of weeks ago. This part has been recorded about 4 or 5 days before you actually get to see this video. That all makes sense. But obviously it's not live. Well, I hope you enjoyed that anyway. I hope you enjoyed something a little bit different. And as I always say, these are not how to do videos. It's just the way I have done it. Completely different. So don't follow me and you blow your boat up or catches fire. Don't blame me. This is a disclaimer. It's just the way I'm doing it. You know, I risk it for myself, but I don't want anybody else taking the risk in case that it was all wrong, what I've done. Well, of course, a big thank you goes out to everybody for watching. All my Patreon, PayPal, Super Thanks and channel members that donate to this channel and support this channel in a big way. I mean, a big way. It goes an awful long way to me keeping this channel going and keeping my lifestyle going. Don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe and click that old bell notification button and the all options. That way YouTube will inform you every time I upload a new video. Well, that just leaves me to say, thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.